Hey guys, Dr. Kristie Ennis, physical therapist, certified strength and conditioning specialist, and nutritionist. And today we are going to go over why this very exercise that I am doing, you want to stop doing right now. And I'm going to stop doing it right now. Now, the plank itself is not necessarily a bad exercise. In fact, I use it for people that are kind of just starting out because it's an exercise that you can use and modify. So the position that I was just in is kind of the base, so to speak, but you can do it on your knees, you can do it up on the wall, or even in between on the counter to make it a little bit more challenging. So if you're just starting out and trying to engage some muscles, not a bad thing to do. So that's the good. Now let me get on to why I really don't like it all that much. So number one, it's an exercise that I see done improperly all the time, right? So I see arching, I see heads lifted up, I see shoulders up to the ears, and if you hold this darn thing for a long period of time, you're going to start to feel it probably more in your shoulders and in your legs than even in your abs. So that brings me to the actual form, even when it's in good form. You see a lot of people like holding it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I mean, that's really all exciting and good, but what are you doing? Number one, it's not functional because our body doesn't just stay in one position. So I could go ahead and do a 10-minute plank hold, but then if I were to say, well, I need to go move this box and put it over there, I'm not using any rotational movement, I'm not using any side-to-side movement, so I'm not training my abs in a way that are going to help me in real life. So a 10-minute plank gets you a 10-minute plank, basically is what that boils down to. Now the other thing that I find an issue with is that people are like, it's the best core exercise in the world. And don't forget that your core isn't just your abdominal muscles. There's a lot of hip and butt involved too. And let me tell you right now, the plank does not activate your glutes. Now, you could get into that plank and go, ooh, butt squeeze. But guess what? I could just do that standing or sitting as well. What it does do is activate the quads and the hip flexors. Now, if you've listened to me talk before, you know that tight hip flexors are one of the reasons that we have back pain. So now we're going to stress those hip flexors, which another reason I see when people come in and they tell me what they're doing for ab exercise, they're like, well, my planks really hurt my back. So besides the fact that they arch or they shrug or hike, it's because those hip flexors are really firing hard, okay? So if you absolutely love the plank, and that's okay if you do, you at least want to make it a little bit more functional. So if I'm going to get back down into that position, even starting to add some leg movement, now I'm challenging that spine to stay stable as I'm moving around it, right? I can come right up onto my hands into that push-up position. And now again, look, I'm not moving my spine, but I'm moving my limbs around it. So now I'm actually engaging some other abdominal and some other hip muscles at the same time. So that's really how you want to focus in on that plank if you're going to do the plank. Now, other exercises I like a lot better than that. So I'm going to get back down on the ground, right onto my back, maybe. So one of my favorites is going to be arms out. You're going to do a little rotation to the side. That might be enough to start. If it's not, go ahead and straighten those legs out. And then you can even add a little lower here, just a little one, if that feels good. So now we're engaging in all of those rotation and side muscles at the same time, as even getting some of those lower abdominals kicked in too. So that's another option. I'm going to switch on up so I'm coming up into a standing position. This is not a super heavy weight. Turn my body around. But if you do a farmer's walk, you can even do it just standing here, right? I want to use these muscles to help prevent me from bending to the side. So I'm going to stand up. So if it's heavy enough, you really have to kick in as you're starting to move and walk. And I won't walk far, but you guys get the idea. I'd be walking with this weight here. That's a great way to do it. And it's standing, which, haha, we spend a lot of our life standing and hopefully not sitting. Okay, so those are two alternatives. I have a bunch of abdominal and core exercises that I will show you guys or share with you guys, link it up here in those in the video notes. And those are way better options, okay? So if you're gonna do a plank, please do it with correct form and add some motion to it. Stop doing those darn holding planks. So thank you for tuning in today. Please, please, please also, I am up for the cover of Muscle and Fitness magazine, Hers. I'll link that in the notes below so that you can vote for me. You can vote until July 30th, and you can actually vote every day. So again, thanks so much for tuning in, and stay tuned for more.